I needed some advice on something that I felt like God was telling me to do, but I was very reluctant and hesitant. And so, He put on my spirit to call a certain friend of mine. And when I spoke to that friend, I was telling him like, hey, I don't know, like, I don't even know if this is him telling me to do this or, I felt like I got confirmation, but I'm a little nervous and I'm not really sure like how to move forward and all this, just excuses. And then, he says to me, you gotta have the same type of blind faith you had while you was in the world. And I was like, huh? And just like instantly revelation hit me, as he was about to go into like explanation. And I was like, say that again? He was like, yeah, the same type of blind faith you had in the world is the same type of blind faith you have to have when God gives you instructions to do something. And I was like, nah, that's deep. Like, what? And it just started like hitting me, and to give you an example of exactly what he meant was, yeah, when I was in the world, I was doing some crazy things and I had a lot of blind faith in the world, but you don't realize that it's blind faith, right? When you're about to lay down with somebody without protection, that's blind faith. You don't know what could happen with that person. You don't know who that person may be messing with. That's blind faith. When you're out with your friends and you're going to the club, you have blind faith that nothing is going to happen in that club, right? When you are walking on the street late at night after doing things you wasn't supposed to be doing in the unholy hour, you have blind faith that no one is going to trouble you, right? When you finish drinking at the club and partying and you're a little bit too drunk to be driving, but yet you drive home anyway, you have blind faith to know that you're going to make it home okay. These are all the examples of having blind faith in the world, right? So when God gives you instructions, the same way you didn't hesitate to drive home drunk, the same way you didn't hesitate to lay down with somebody without protection, the same way you didn't hesitate to just do all of the sins that you were doing in the world, and you had the blind faith to take action on those things for the enemy, you need to have that blind faith and take action when God gives you direction. So when he told me that, it just put me straight into action to do the thing that God told me. And he brought me to a couple of scriptures as examples of blind faith in the Bible. So first we're going to start with Genesis 12 verses 1 through 4. The Lord had said to Abram, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I show you. Abraham left everything familiar without knowing where he was going, just based on God's promise. That's blind faith. Noah building the ark, Genesis 6:13-22. Noah did everything just as God commanded him. Blind faith, no hesitation. Noah built a massive ark before there had ever been a flood, nothing like that ever in the history at that time. But he trusts God's warning and instructions, though no one believed it. My favorite one, Peter walking on water, Matthew 14:28-29. Lord, if it's you, Peter replied, tell me to come to you on the water. Come, he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. That's powerful. That's blind faith. Peter stepped out onto the sea, trusting that Jesus' command was enough, that his words were enough, that his instructions were enough. And even though walking on water was humanly impossible, he trusted God's instructions by having blind faith. So I say to you the same thing my friend said to me. When God gives you instructions, have that same blind faith you had while you were in the world, now that you're in the kingdom of God. God bless.